Give me a thumbs up if you've been waiting for me to revive my Plan Like an Entrepreneur series, because that's what I'm going to do today. So in today's installment of what I hope to be an ongoing series, I'm actually going to give you a tour of all of my business planning tools. And I also want to give you an explanation of what it means to plan like an entrepreneur and some really important advice from me to you if you are someone who does want to get started with entrepreneurship. So if that sounds good, let's jump right in. Hello, my charmed ones, and welcome back to my channel for another video. And if this is your first time with me, I would like to say welcome. My name is Alexis, but I'm also known as MissTrenchcoat all across the internet. I'm an online entrepreneur who designs and sells productivity tools, strategies, and skills to help you manifest success with less stress. So if that sounds interesting to you, I'll leave some links down below in the description box where you can check out more of my work online, and feel free to download some of my latest free productivity tools over at thecharmedshop.com. So first, let's kick off this series revival by talking a little bit about what it means to me to plan like an entrepreneur. So obviously, I am an entrepreneur. I run my own online business, but I don't think that this idea of planning like an entrepreneur is something that just pertains to entrepreneurs. I think that this concept is really just a way of approaching your work that is really more focused on objectives and outcomes. If you're someone who runs a business, obviously that is going to be a very big deal for you, right? To make sure you're hitting objectives and reaching the outcomes that you want. Because everyone knows that an entrepreneur has a lot of work on their plate. They are usually responsible for many different aspects of their business, which would be quite different from the way that a person who had like a 9-to-5 job might be approaching their work and responsibilities. So essentially, this Plan Like an Entrepreneur idea is about organizing multiple areas of responsibility in your life and streamlining them to ensure that you are staying focused and hitting goals and objectives that you are interested in meeting. This is why not only goal setting is an important topic for entrepreneurs, but also project planning as well, to make sure that you are consistently focused against meeting your objectives. Now, I obviously don't know how every entrepreneur approaches their yearly business planning, but I always start with income numbers. So the numbers that I want to be at in terms of how much money that I want my business to be making within a year minimum, I take those numbers and I reverse engineer objectives that will become projects that will help me to develop systems, products, etc., to help me reach that goal. Now, once I know what those objectives are, those projects are that I want to work on, because let's be honest, there are probably 1,000 different ways that I could create a plan to help me hit that income number, but what I choose to do is personal to me and my interests and my business. But once I have those projects laid out, on a monthly basis, all I need to do is refer back to those project plans and make sure that I'm getting the steps and the tasks completed so that I can build up those new assets or new systems to help me earn the income that I'm looking for. So then my monthly, weekly, and of course my daily work is always a reflection and a direct link back to those larger projects and objectives that I'm trying to manifest for my business. Now, as I already mentioned, you don't have to be an entrepreneur to actually benefit from this method of planning. I think that looking at your year in terms of the goals that you have and the objectives, the real measurable objectives that you want to hit for yourself over the course of the year, and then breaking that down into projects to execute on to hopefully get you there, I think that that is a system that is incredibly functional and that anyone can really use in their life to manage multiple responsibilities or multiple goals that they would like to bring into fruition. It really is a very focused way of spending your time and doing your work and looking at your life, because when you know clearly the objectives you're trying to reach, it makes it so much clearer for you what you need to do on Monday, on Tuesday, on next Thursday in order to reach those objectives. I wake up never actually needing to ask myself, what do I need to do today for my business? Because whether or not I actually have a complete little task list for the day written out, I always have the reference of, this is what I need to do this month to move things forward. This is the project that I'm working on that is building the system for me, and this is the goal that I am ultimately achieving from my efforts today. It really helps to really streamline and focus your motivation and inspiration waking up, whether or not you're a business owner. So I hope that gives you a really good explanation and primer to what it means to plan like an entrepreneur. Now I want to go ahead and give you a bird's eye view and a little tour of the different planning systems that I use to make this happen. Okay, so what tools do I use to help me plan like an entrepreneur? The first tools I have are actually here in this binder cover. And as you can see when I open this up, there's actually 2 books here. The first of which is my New High Vibe Bible. Now, although this is not a planning tool per se, I did want to mention it in this video because it is a 90-day journal to help you raise your vibration and manifest your desires. And for me, as someone who really does believe in manifestation and likes to set intentions, especially around my business, this journal has been very helpful in the last few weeks with helping me get incredibly clear on the intentions I have for my business and how I plan to make those things a reality, manifest them into existence, we would say. So this is a journal. It's absolutely part of my daily routine. And I'll talk about, routines and habits a little bit later in this video. But I definitely think that as someone who has a lot on their plate running a business, that it's a really good idea to be able to have something like a journal to help you to get really clear on what you're trying to achieve and help you lay out your ideas, especially in the morning before your workday starts, so you really start your day for success. Now, with that being said, the main star of the show here is, of course, my Charmed Life Master Planner. This is my 2019 striped edition. So this is my life and business planner. I use only one planner for everything in my life, including my business. And because my business happens to be a big portion of my life, that's what tends to get a lot of the focus and attention inside of this planner. Now, I think in order to show you how this planner really works as a system to help me get things done, I actually need to start from the back of the book and move forward. So the first thing that I want to show you is my brilliant ideas section. And in this section of the planner, this is where I'm able to take my raw ideas, right? Raw inspiration for my business or problems that I'm facing and really break them down so that I can turn them into plans. Now, the first set of inserts that I have in this section are brain dump inserts. And I'm just going to go ahead and show you guys a blank spread so you can get an idea of what it looks like. But my brain dump is literally where on a monthly basis, I sit down and I write down all the things that I've been thinking about or trying to remember that really deserve to be planned out. And after I do my brain dump, I go ahead and use this side of the spread, which is called Organize and Act. And this is what's known as like an Eisenhower matrix. I learned about this in Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People book. I call it like the quadrant system sometimes. But yeah, this is basically a prioritization matrix where I will take all the things that I've written down here and decide what is important and urgent enough to act on first. So here it's broken into 4 quadrants for important, not important, urgent, not urgent, depending on, either of how they fall on importance or urgency, they will be put into a quadrant, and that is how I will act on them. So once I've got my raw ideas and things that I'm holding on to brain dumped, the next set of inserts comes in mighty handy. So this is my brainstorm and plan and prep spread. And this spread here, this plan and prep spread specifically, is incredibly helpful for me because it basically lets me break down my ideas and sort of partition ideas out into maybe different categories, these different squares here. The great thing about these squares that I absolutely love is that they actually fit these little Post-it notes in here that are like Erin Condren vertical square sticker sizing. They actually fit in this little matrix here. which is really awesome for helping me to like lay out ideas. But essentially, if I have an idea that I'm holding on to and I need to bring it to fruition, right? I really want to brainstorm this and really flesh it out. I will use this spread here. I will use it for literally anything, new products. I will use it for email sequences, funnels, marketing plans, anything like that. I will often come to this to use. And actually, probably this section is actually very full because I have a lot of plans in here. But actually, I do have a blank one of these spreads that I can kind of show you right here if you want to see. I actually use this spread to break out a quarterly business plan as well. You can see here, this is Q3 business plan. I actually obviously haven't gotten to Q3 yet, or the end of Q2 yet, so I don't have this filled out. But what I do here is I put the months right in the quarter. So July, August, and September are listed out here in the columns. And then in the rows, I have content, marketing, and offer, right? So what content am I creating in these months? What marketing do I have to do? And what offers, sales, promotions, etc. are getting done. So that's like how I legitimately business plan on a quarterly basis. But of course, any of these tasks in here might require their own spread like this. So I have plenty of room to do that here. And then of course, once I have these ideas outlined, I go to this brainstorm side where I can actually start listing out tasks and making notes. And that is an excellent prep for the second section of the planner that I want to show you, which is my important project section. So here is where I take all of those ideas and turn them into cemented project plans. So the first spread here, as you can see, is my yearly overview. And you will have to forgive me. I had, actually, you might be able to see, I don't think you can. I actually ended up printing out a sticker and putting it over this because I completely changed my entire focus for the year a couple of weeks ago. So I wanted to have like a fresh one of these to work off of. So you can see that not everything is fully filled out, but you can see I've got all of the months of the year broken out along the top, and each month has their own box for short-term projects. Then I have a box for each quarter of the year, what I call midterm projects, and then long-term projects go into these longer boxes. So this is where I will actually go in and schedule things that need to be worked on when they have an appropriate time of year, right? So in October, I've scheduled to work on my 2020 inserts. November usually is the time to do like Black Friday and holiday promotion. So I'm going to think about what I want to do for that then. New Year goal setting, if I want to do a goal setting workshop again this year, it would be taking place in December, of course. So basically all of my projects get broken out into here, and this isn't fully completely filled out yet because, like I said, things recently changed. So not necessarily a lot of the project plans, but just like my layout for the way that I was going to organize things and my focus going forward. So, all of my projects are laid out here so I know when I have to work on them. And then individually, my projects are broken out into project plans where I can, list out the project, a description or the objective of the project plan, the due date or the time period that it needs to be worked on, the actual tasks, and notes. And of course, here I also have a section for resources if there's different things that I need to kind of consult along the way. So this is where I will actually break down plans into complete projects. And then based on the timing of the projects, during a month, I would go ahead and assign things to my monthly plan. So let's go ahead to a blank month right now. As you can see, August is blank. And this is where I would start scheduling things in for my month. Now, generally with my month on 2 pages, I use this as an editorial calendar and general like event calendar for the year. So individual events, appointments, things like that would go in here as well as my content. But I also have an opportunity here on this week column to break out 3 priorities for each week that I want to work on. So I could write 3 things down in here that would apply to this week. And these are things that help me get focused. Now, these would absolutely be things that come from my projects that are just transferred over. Additionally, I will use my monthly task list to kind of collect all of the different project-related tasks and one-off tasks that I need to do for a specific month. And I would have them all listed out here so everything is organized. So instead of having to rummage through a bunch of project plans, I've got them all listed out in one place. Then I've got my monthly tracker where I can track out reoccurring tasks or habits and things like that that I'm focusing on. And then we get into my weekly plan where I will go ahead and work off of that list, that monthly task list, plus that monthly, prioritized list that I've written down, and start working on tasks. I have a place for my top 3 tasks every day, and then a space where I can add more tasks, create a schedule, take notes, etc. So that is how I plan for my life and my business in one planner. And that's why my master planner is my holy grail of planners. But it is not the only system that I use. I do have an auxiliary binder as well that I'm going to show you. That is the place that I kind of put like overflow and extra reference information. Obviously, because that is a bound planner, it doesn't have the ability for me to add and, remove pages. So I do keep a 6-ring binder for me to use for extra things. So this is just a really inexpensive clear binder I got off of Amazon. I'll leave it linked down below. I also got these black dividers off of Amazon as well. I'll leave those linked for you down below. But this just has a few things in it. The first section has a bunch of my stickers in it, right? So my functional planning stickers from my shop. If you didn't know, I create stickers every once in a while and I print them out at home, and I have these printable designs that you can use as well if you want to purchase anything from my shop. I'll leave those linked down below. So those are my stickers. I keep those in the front. Then the next section, you guys are going to find this very interesting. This is where I take a lot of my notes and almost map out my business plans a little bit more. This here, as you can see, is a little pull-out board that I actually created for myself where I map out my projects a little bit more. So this is a little bit more like a project organization board. I used to do this a little bit more on like a whiteboard in my room, in my office, but I actually like having it be a little bit smaller and a little bit more portable. So I just kind of write out projects that I'm working on little sticky notes and kind of organize them. It's not in detail, but it helps me to see progress a little bit better and helps me to break down ideas a little bit better. So I've got this in the front of here. So this is like things that I'm currently working on. Then I just have a whole bunch of notes here, as you can see, that are things that might just literally be one-offs that really don't belong in my planner, but are business related, right? So like notes on these are like notes on a book that I read for business, and it, had some prompts and things that I kind of worked through as I was going along. So I've got a lot of different notes and things like that in here in this section. Then the next section here has just a few extra odds and ends as well. So this is my online business brain dump incompletion triggers list. This is what I use when I go to brain dump to help me have a very quick reference of the things that I might be thinking about but can't remember. So this is a triggers list. It's supposed to trigger your memory, basically jog your memory as you're doing a brain dump. Now, this is actually a free download. If you guys want this, I will leave the link down below. If you are someone who runs a business or is thinking about running a business, or, even if it's not a business, if you're just an influencer or someone who's got a channel or something like that, or a blog, this is really helpful for that. Then again, I just had some extra sorts of things that I just kind of threw in here just in case I wanted to plan with them. My High Vibe Bible, before it actually was printed, I was testing it out in here. And then I just have this random section of just things for organizing, just sorts of, card holders and things like that. And then the final section of this auxiliary binder is an adaptation of my 43 folders tickler file system. If you guys have ever seen my 43 folders videos, or if you haven't, this is basically a portable filing cabinet for me. Now, in the 43 folder system, you get 43 folders because you're supposed to have a folder for each month of the year plus each day of the month, so up to 31. So 31 plus 12 equals 43 folders. What I ended up doing was, because I realized I didn't really use the daily folders, really, I just used the monthly. I just took this down into the 12 monthly folders. So for each month of the year, I've got this folder where I have things that I need to work on, or, basically I just tuck paperwork in here that, belongs to a certain month. So this is like my revolving filing cabinet, truncated to fit here in this binder, so that this is just like my walking filing cabinet, like my portable filing cabinet for my business. And this is the perfect auxiliary setup for me to go along with the Charmed Life Master Planner. Okay, so those were my tools. I hope you enjoyed seeing those and getting a little bit more insight into this idea of planning like an entrepreneur. The final thing that I want to talk to you about is just giving you a little bit of advice from me to you about, how to make the most of planning for your business if you are an entrepreneur specifically. Now, the first piece of advice I have for you is that I really believe that personal development is key. You should really take up the mindset that you should never stop learning or ever let learning stop you from doing. I think that's also very important because as much as I know that you need to be doing consistent personal development as an entrepreneur, I know you also can't let the learning stand in the way of the doing. So obviously, some really simple ways that you can continue to develop yourself personally and to continue learning would be to read a lot of different books. I'm always listening to books on tape via Audible. Definitely get into the habit of, finding some different content like mine and other people out there on the internet, video, YouTube, blogs, whatever, to help you see different perspectives for your business and for different skills and things that you might be lacking or just different insight that you might need. And of course, taking courses and enrolling in different classes for different areas of your business are also a great way to help you continue learning and also add to that cumulative effect of your business. The next thing I think you should know is that mastering your habits and developing a mental mastery is going to help you so much because I do find that the little habits that are bad, that are keeping you from fully aligning with your goals are really the things that can be the trickiest and the biggest killers to your productivity and your success. Now, this is why I like to instill very positive habits like the daily journaling, the manifestation journaling that I showed you with the High Vibe Bible. That is just a very simple, literally 5-minute activity that I do in the morning before I open my planner that really helps me to align myself and what I'm doing that day with my overall and larger objectives. So that daily journaling ultimately becomes a non-negotiable habit for me so that I can manifest my goals. And the third and final piece of advice I have for you is to get to know yourself, your personality, your strengths, your weaknesses, your motivations, everything. And I think a really great way to do this is by taking a few different personality tests that are geared towards business that you can take for free online. A few of my favorite personality tests that I always recommend are Sally Hogshead's How to Fascinate personality test, Myers Briggs, the 4 Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin, the Enneagram, and Strength Finders. So all of these different personality tests are really going to go a long way to helping you understand the way that you work and the way that you act so that you can be the best business person that you can be and really lean into your strengths and, take the time to develop your weaknesses and, if necessary, figure out where you might need to have a lifeline to call in your business if that's something that you absolutely need. So that is everything I wanted you to know about planning like an entrepreneur and my personal business planning sort of process and tools. Don't forget, I'll leave you some links down in the description box where you can check out a few of the different tools and things that I showed you in today's video, including that business brain dump triggers list. If you are a business person or an influencer or someone who's interested in any of this, I would highly recommend grabbing that free download because it's a great resource that I highly recommend using as part of your monthly brain dump process. It really will go a long way to help you create better business plans. So if you have any questions about today's video, please make sure to leave me those in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video and you want to see more from this series, make sure to give it a thumbs up and feel free to share it with anyone you think will find it interesting. For more of the behind the scenes of my productivity life and business, make sure to follow me on Instagram at MissTrenchcoat. And if you're not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button for more awesome videos by me. And until next time, bye-bye.